Hi and welcome to Rick's Garage. So today in this episode I tried to fix the running issue with my Alfa GTV. See you in a minute. So yes, welcome back. Now, those of you who have subscribed to my channel and in the last couple of episodes, you will be aware that I have had a running issue with my V6 GTV. It's an intermittent issue. It's a big power surge problem. It's not a hesitation. It's like a big power surge. It feels like you've hit a brick wall. The power just instantly cuts and then comes back in again. It really is savage. It doesn't do it all the time, but nevertheless it is there, and it only happens when you're hard on the power. So me and Mrs. Garage, in one of the last episodes, we did 130 miles in this car. It was fantastic all day. Obviously it did do the little power cut one or two times on our way home, but other than that it didn't miss a beat. She was absolutely fantastic. Now on that same day in the evening I decided to take the car out for a little spin one last time to go and pick up a Chinese, as you do, and she broke down half a mile down the road. She did the big power surge, but this time the engine completely cut out and it didn't start again at all. I tried it numerous times, but she would not fire up. It was turning over, but it wouldn't fire up. Now, as you do, I did what I could at the side of the road. One of the first things I did check was the fuse to the fuel pump. Luckily for me, that fuse was blown, so I had a spare one in the car, replaced the fuse, and she started up straight away on the button. I was chuffed to bits. Now, when I did start the car, I did have an engine management light on the dash. In a way, I was glad at that because this is the first time I'd actually had a light or any kind of code in relation to this issue. Took the car home, plugged my code reader in, and I got a P0638 code, which I believe is a throttle body. So I rung my specialist the day after, explained my symptoms to him, and he is aware of the running issue that I've had with this car. Up to now he thought it was the MAF sensor. I was very doubtful, but anyway I explained the turn of events and what had happened, and he replied with, "Ooh, that doesn't sound good." He said the P0638 code isn't necessarily an issue with the throttle body itself, but anything with a P0638, for example, that is an internal error on the ECU. Classic symptom of the ECU dying, especially given the running symptoms that I've had with the car. He said the next thing that may happen is I may get a flickering of lights on the instrument cluster on acceleration. I said, well, to be honest, I have actually already had that, to which he replied, well, it's only a matter of time. The ECU is dying. One day it will just go completely. Now, obviously, this news is a big blow to me. Now, as many owners will testify, the ECUs on these cars are very hard to find. A second-hand ECU goes for between £700 and £1,000. I can, believe it or not, get hold of a brand spanking new ECU, but at a cost of £1,700. Now, needless to say, this is a big bill. Now, obviously, you know, I've got the money there to buy a new ECU, but obviously as a normal earning everyday person, so to speak, nobody or not many people has just got £1,700 just to blow here, there and everywhere at every little thing that comes along. We need to find alternative ways. Now, my specialist did actually advise against repairing the ECU by his experience. He said I will still end up with issues with it. The only way is to get another ECU. But as I say, £1,700 for a new one or £1,000 for a second-hand one, it's not an easy pill to swallow. So I went against his advice. I asked the question on the owners groups, to which a few members came forward. And as it turns out, there isn't a company called All Car Electronics, I think it's called. I will post a link in the description. But I believe that there is a certain person, mentioning no names, that sends batchfuls of these ECUs to this specialist to be fixed or rebuilt. So I thought if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. So naturally, I sent the ECU away. They had it for 4 days. And after a quick inspection, they called me. They said, surprisingly, the ECU isn't showing any error codes or any faults. Now, at the time of testing, that is. Now, just because it wasn't showing any errors at the time of testing doesn't necessarily mean that the ECU isn't faulty. It just means that it wasn't showing anything at the time of it being tested. Obviously, this is an intermittent problem. Now, the options I had was just to send the ECU back, which leaves me with nowhere really. Or they can completely rebuild the ECU. That should alleviate or completely get rid of my running issue. The specialist who rebuilt the ECU, they said if this doesn't work, it's not a problem with the ECU, it's something on the car. So that said, I thought to myself, I can either spend £1,700 on a new ECU just to find out it isn't the ECU, or I can rebuild my own and find out a much cheaper way. So in a way, this is what I've decided to do. If it is a fault ultimately with the ECU and I need to go and buy a brand new ECU, then yes, this could work out a lot more expensive. But sometimes I'd rather blow a couple of £100 before spending an absolute fortune. I know that probably doesn't make sense to some people, but you know, this is what we do, isn't it? So yeah, I've received the ECU back now. I'm going to unbox it for you on camera, show you what's what, and then I'm going to get it back onto the car, start her up, hopefully, fingers crossed, and then take her out for a ride and see what she drives like. Let's go. Okay, so the turnaround on this was 4 days. Fantastic service, really nice guys to deal with. They are based in Alfa Tune, Derby in the UK, all car electronics. Again, I will post a link in the description. So we've got my invoice with VAT. It comes to £270, and as I say, if this works, this will be, you know, a lot of money saved. So obviously this is my own original ECU. It looks exactly the same on top, but if you look underneath, you can see there is a new back on it. You can see they've had the back off, and it is security sealed as well. So that has been completely rebuilt. Now, exactly what the rebuild entails, unfortunately, I can't tell you, but I'm just hoping that this rectifies my issue, and there's only one way to find out, and that is to get it straight back onto the car. So wish me luck. Now, when I started the car, I did still have that engine management light on for the throttle body, which I've now turned off. Hopefully that stays off. But yeah, up to now, normal driving, she seems fine. Okay, so I'll see if I can give it a few revs up here. Nice clean pull, no surging. I've no flashing lights on acceleration, which is obviously a good thing. At the moment, it seems to be fine. Try not to speak too soon. Whoops! Oh dear. She just surged. Damn it. Yep, she just surged. Ah, bugger. So it looks like it's a no fix, guys, on this occasion. Yeah, obviously I'm a little bit gutted, so it hasn't fixed the issue. So there's only one thing for it, I'm afraid. She's going to have a replacement ECU, I think, because no, this fix hasn't worked. But I would rather have tried first. Now, the people who did the ECU, they are saying if this doesn't work, then it's not a problem with the ECU, it's a problem with the car. But the specialist that I use is saying, from only going off what I've told him, he thinks it's the ECU at fault. So further investigation is needed. Acceleration wasn't good then at all, pulling away. It's just opened up a little bit there now, but pulling away from those lights, that wasn't good at all. He didn't like it. So fast forward a couple of days and the car has been away with the specialist. The specialist in question is Gus at Alfa Tune. So she's had a brand spanking new ECU, not a second-hand one, but a brand spanking new one. Hen's teeth, to say the least. Yes, it has cost me a lot of money, but please do bear in mind, guys, that with the price, I also had one of Gus's custom remaps. He normally charges £400 for this, but this was included, and it's been remapped, taking into consideration that it is now running CF2 manifolds. So the car is running absolutely perfectly. She is fixed, and it's running like an absolute dream. It has never ever ran this good. Here's a couple of clips for you. So there you go, guys. I hope you'll agree. She's running great. I've done quite a few miles in this now, hassle and trouble free. She's running absolutely perfect. Now, if there's one thing I will take away from this experience, please do listen to expert advice. Gus did try and warn me. He did say that if you try and repair it, it won't rectify my particular issues. He's seen it all before. I didn't listen. I tried to get it repaired anyway. I don't regret it, because obviously it's only natural to try and save as much money as possible. It just didn't work for me. Now, just because the ECU fix didn't work for me doesn't necessarily mean that it won't work for you. This company in question, they do successfully repair many hundreds of ECUs every single year, and that includes many other Alfa owners' ECUs as well. It is important to take that away. I suppose it heavily depends on the symptoms, on the problems that you're experiencing with your car. So don't completely rule it out, it just didn't work for me. Now, another thing I want to mention, which is also important, and that is that All Car Electronics, they have been in business for many years, very highly reputable, and they could not do enough for me on the customer service point of view. They have been absolutely fantastic. Another thing I want to say is they personally haven't repaired this ECU. They actually sent it away to a third party to be done. That is important to mention. I have applied for a refund, obviously through All Car Electronics. That is currently ongoing. The third party in mind, they want my ECU back for further testing. They also want proof that I have purchased and fitted a brand new ECU, which is fair enough. I will do that, and I will let you know the outcome. I'll let you know what happens. I am hopeful for a refund. I'll be very surprised if they don't. I hope they understand that, you know, sometimes it works, or most of the time it works, but on the odd occasion, sometimes it won't. Now, this video is for all the owners who have been eagerly awaiting an update on this car. I know there are one or two of you who have been experiencing the same symptoms as me, so I hope this video helps. If you're having problems, look into your ECU. So yes, the car is successfully fixed, and I plan to enjoy every single minute of it now. I just want to say a special thank you to Gus at Alfa Tune. Those of you who know will vouch that he is a very highly knowledgeable guy indeed. I have built up quite a bit of trust in him now. He has done a couple of jobs for me now, and yeah, I've been very happy on both occasions. So just very quickly before I go, I am planning on doing a questions and answers episode. I plan to get my wife back onto the channel. She will read out your questions and I will answer them on camera. So if there's any questions you want to know, if you want to submit any questions, then please do go ahead and do that. You can send me an email at ricksgarage916@yahoo.com, or you can DM me on Instagram, which is ricksgarage916. So yeah, anything you want to know, you can ask any technical questions, but please do bear in mind, guys, I am not an Alfa Romeo specialist. But if there's anything you want to know about me or my car, I will try my best to answer any questions you've got. If there's anything you want to know about me personally, then fire away. If there's any, you know, if you want to know any of my opinions and anything that's going on in the motoring world, anything to do with EV, absolutely anything, ask away. And yeah, I will do a questions and answers episode. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye bye.